What happens to your sanity when your cat decides they're the manager? The executive onboarding. Remember that day at the shelter? You saw a tiny ball of fluff sleeping in a cage and thought, I'm going to rescue this poor baby. You brought them home, bought the expensive bed, and waited for the gratitude. But then the contract changed. One morning you woke up and realized you weren't a parent anymore. You were a junior associate. How did a creature that weighs less than a sack of flour and has no thumbs manage to seize all your assets? It's a corporate takeover where the CEO doesn't use Slack but will scream at your door at 4 a.m. Facility management and the open office policy. The first thing any new manager does is restructure the office. For your cat, the main office is your living room, and the restructuring is aggressive. They start with the executive suite. You might see them sitting on top of the fridge and think they're just being weird, but that's actually a high-level strategic move. Evolutionarily, cats are both predators and prey, so height equals safety. By claiming the highest point in the room, they aren't just looking for dust bunnies. They are maintaining socio-spatial dominance. It's a way of saying, I own everything the light touches, including that sandwich you just made. Then there's the open office policy. If you value bathroom privacy, you're in for a rough quarter. To a cat, a closed door is an HR violation. They'll paw at the gap until you give in because there are no private meetings in their world. This isn't just curiosity, it's socio-spatial cognition. Your cat maintains a 3D map of the house in their head. When you disappear behind a door, it breaks their internal GPS. They need to know where the staff is at all times to keep the map updated. Next, we have to talk about resource allocation. That $2,000 laptop you bought for work, in the eyes of the manager, that is a luxury heating pad. They will sit directly on the keyboard during your most important Zoom call because your productivity is secondary to their core temperature. It's a power move, really. They're rebranding your workspace to suit the needs of the firm. And don't forget the strategic trip hazard. Have you ever noticed how your cat insists on walking exactly 3 inches in front of your feet when you're carrying a hot cup of coffee? That's not an accident. It's a physical reminder of the hierarchy. If you trip, that's a you problem. They are testing your agility and making sure you know who has the right of way in the hallway. Finally, the renovations. Gravity testing is a daily requirement. That coffee mug on the counter is just a variable that needs solving. They'll look you dead in the eye, tap it once, and watch it shatter. They aren't being mean, they're checking the structural integrity of the floor. Once the floor is confirmed solid, they'll finish the day by marking territory. Using scent glands in their cheeks, they rub against your legs and furniture. They're letting guests know this is a feline-owned subsidiary, and you're just the one paying the mortgage. Performance reviews and hostile takeover tactics. Once the office layout is settled, the manager shifts focus towards staff efficiency. This usually starts with the 3:00 a.m. audit. You might be deep in REM sleep, dreaming of a life where you aren't a servant, but the CEO has decided that the current feeding schedule is hopelessly inefficient. They don't just meow, they perform a vocal intervention. This isn't random noise. It is a calculated piece of biological engineering known as the solicitation purr. Research from the University of Sussex proves this isn't just noise, it's a solicitation purr. They embed a high-frequency cry, almost identical to a human infant, inside their normal low-frequency rumble. Your brain is hardwired to find this sound impossible to ignore. It triggers an urgent caregiving response that drags you out of bed, even when the bowl is half full. You aren't being a good owner. You're being hacked by a biological supercomputer. If the noise fails, they switch to the silent stare. They'll sit 2 feet away, motionless, making eye contact that feels like a formal reprimand. They aren't asking for a bite, they're making you feel like your existence is a fireable offense. This psychological pressure usually ends with you sharing chicken, just to make the judgment stop. It's a classic hostile takeover where the subordinate hands over assets to maintain a peaceful workspace. Interestingly, the manager adapts their style based on the employee. A study from Ankara University found that cats actually use different management styles for different genders. They tend to meow more at men, essentially training them through vocal commands to get what they want. With women, they lean into a more complex emotional bond, using subtle physical cues and long-term psychological conditioning. Whether they're shouting at you or just staring, they've already profiled your weaknesses and adjusted the performance review accordingly. Then there are the mandatory team-building exercises. At 2:00 a.m., the manager often feels the need to test the building's acoustics and your cardiovascular health through the zoomies. This involves sprinting at top speed across your face, bouncing off the headboard, and sliding into the kitchen. You are the only member of the team not participating, which the manager clearly views as a lack of company spirit. This behavior is actually a way for them to release pent-up predatory energy, but in a domestic setting, it serves as a chaotic reminder that they do not follow your human concept of time or logic. Managing the junior associate, that's you, also requires physical marking. When they headbutt your chin or rub their face against your hand, they are bunting. This feels like affection, but it's actually a sophisticated filing system. They have scent glands that deposit pheromones on your skin, effectively claiming ownership of your person. In their view, you aren't their friend, you are a piece of company property that needs to be properly labeled. Finally, we have to address the belly trap. This is the ultimate bait and switch. The manager rolls over, exposing a soft, fluffy underside that looks like an invitation for a promotion. But the second you reach in for a rub, they engage all 4 paws and teeth. This is a workplace safety violation of the highest order. It's a reminder that while they may look like a plush toy, they are still a highly evolved apex predator who can revoke your petting privileges without notice. You are expected to know the difference between an invitation to play and a test of your reflexes. And if you fail, the consequences are written in scratches on your forearm. The psychology of corporate Stockholm syndrome. Despite the audits and injuries, we develop a deep loyalty to the manager. It's corporate Stockholm syndrome. We pay the mortgage and scoop the litter for a landlord who pays us in hairballs. Why? Because the rewards are potent. Take the slow blink. In the cat world, this is a high-level memo. Since cats are predators and prey, closing their eyes near you is a massive sign of trust. It's their way of saying you finally did something right. A slow blink feels like a corner office and a year-end bonus. Then there's the allo grooming hierarchy. If your cat licks your hair with that sandpaper tongue, you've been promoted. In feline colonies, higher-ranking cats groom lower-ranking ones to establish bonds. By licking you, they're saying, you are a messy, incompetent hunter, but you're on my staff, so I'll take care of you. It's a prickly honor that makes 3 hours of screaming for treats feel worth it. The manager also uses pheromones to maintain a calm and productive workforce. When they rub against you, they aren't just marking you, they are releasing chemicals that have a genuine calming effect on the human nervous system. It's a form of biological management that keeps the staff just relaxed enough to keep the kibble coming. You think you're in charge because you have the credit card, but they are the ones controlling the atmospheric chemistry of the home. The ultimate Employee of the Month realization happens when the manager finally chooses to sit on your lap. You've spent $80 on a self-warming orthopedic cat bed with a 5-star rating on Amazon. The cat ignores it for 6 months. But then, one rainy Tuesday, they decide that your legs are the only acceptable surface in the house. You will sit there until your feet go numb and your bladder is screaming because you don't want to disturb the CEO. This is the peak of the relationship. You have been chosen. The fact that they are only using you for your body heat is irrelevant. In that moment, the hierarchy is clear, the power dynamic is settled, and you are perfectly happy being the most overqualified furniture in the world. The closing statement. At the end of the day, we have to admit the truth. Your house is no longer a private residence. It is a feline-owned subsidiary, and you are the primary investor with 0 voting rights. But honestly, the company culture is pretty great. Being a junior associate to a creature that sleeps 20 hours a day and finds joy in a crumpled-up receipt is actually the best job you've ever had. It's a chaotic, confusing, and occasionally painful career path. But the benefits package of purrs and headbutts is impossible to beat. So tell me, what was the exact moment your cat officially took over the management of your household? Drop your performance review stories in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on the latest feline corporate retreats, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Class is dismissed, but the manager probably wants his dinner.